HarperCollins and HarperAudio present The Secret Life of Dorothy Soames, a Memoir, by Justine Cowan, performed by Lisa Flanagan. A note before we begin. For source materials and a selected bibliography, don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/The Secret Life of Dorothy Soames, spelled DOROTHYSOAMES. To do a great thing, you may do a little wrong. Charles Dickens, Oliver Twist. 1. Dorothy Soames. I always knew my mother had a secret. She guarded it fiercely, keeping it under lock and key. That was how I envisioned it, a hidden chamber tucked away in the recesses of my mother's twisted mind. But her secret was too big to be contained, and it would ooze out like a thick slurry, poisoning her thoughts and covering our family in darkness. When I was 19, my mother accidentally gave me a clue to her past, yet it would take me years to gather the courage to learn more. Eventually, I followed a trail of breadcrumbs that led me across an ocean into an institution's macabre and Baroque history. Only then did I discover the agony of generations of women scorned by society, and of thousands of innocent children imprisoned, although they had committed no crime. And I would dredge up family secrets that forced me to reassess everything I had ever known. Of course, I didn't know any of that when the phone rang that morning. I only knew it was an odd time for my father to call. "I need your help. It's your mother." His voice was strained and loud. I had trouble concentrating as he described the events that had unfolded earlier that morning. My mother tightly clutching the steering wheel as she careened through a labyrinth of twisting hillside roads, my father racing close behind in his matching black Jaguar, desperate to stop her. Luckily, he'd caught up with her before she could run herself off the road. "She said she had to go to the hospital." "The hospital? Why? Was she hurt?" "No." My father offered no further information, but he wasn't really calling to explain. And I wouldn't find out where my mother had been trying to go that day until years after her death. "I have to be in court today." "I don't care," I wanted to say, but the words stuck in my throat. One thing I'd picked up in my 19 years was the intuition to dread what I knew was coming next. "It's not safe to leave her alone." Images flashed before me, jagged shards of glass on an oriental rug, a papier-mâché piñata swinging from a tree, broken dolls strewn across sleek hardwood floors. I pulled my textbooks out of my backpack and returned them to the desk as my arms began to tingle, my fingers going numb. I usually had more time to prepare myself. I tried not to think about what I would find as I drove across the Bay Bridge, watching the city's skyline come into view before heading south, toward Hillsborough. We'd left San Francisco when I was 6, my father eager to escape the damp city fog that triggered his claustrophobia, my mother more than happy to relocate to one of California's most prestigious zip codes. On the face of things, the wealthy enclave where we landed was a magical place for a child, and the neighborhood kids had the run of its wide, quiet streets. We'd duck into gaps in the hedges that concealed manicured gardens, using the holes in the thick vegetation as secret tunnels to evade capture during our games of hide-and-seek. On our corner stood an empty manor house we'd crawl into through an unlocked window, running through its grand rooms with our arms spread wide as if we were flying, or taking turns riding from floor to floor in the dumbwaiter. One at a time we would climb into the small wooden box to be hoisted and lowered by the rest of the group, the ropes creaking as they threaded their way through the rusting pulleys. But Hillsborough lost its brilliance as I got older.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?